Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I will be having another military wife chit chat with you. And today's topic is going to be about reintegration. Let's get started, you guys. So I'm just going to start off, you guys, with defining reintegration. It's super simple, nothing fancy. It's simply just a process of getting used to you and your spouse living together again, working together again, getting to routines again, just getting used to each other again. It's just a fancy word for that. But it can be an awkward process. It can be difficult, just depending on the state of the relationship, the things that happened while you all were apart, the way you all handled things. And then to throw in maybe combat deployment stress or PTSD or things of that nature, it can just be a really, really challenging time for the family. But right now, I'm just going to go into some things that are completely normal, some things that me and my spouse have experienced. And as always, if you are going through a very challenging time and you need more than just girlfriend advice that I'm giving here, there will be Military One Source resources in my description box below. Let's get started. So you guys, I'm just going to start off with some things that are completely normal, general across the board. And then toward the end of the video, I will go into more specific examples and more personal things that I would like to share with you so that you can just get an understanding of, the process, how it feels, and what's totally normal. So for the first thing up is just simply that feeling of awkwardness, I guess, of being with your spouse because they've been gone so long, just trying to get used to, their behaviors, their mannerisms, things that you haven't had to deal with in a long time. Something as simple as, I don't know, for me, I have a bad habit of hanging things on doors and my spouse hates it. So just him getting used to the fact that, this is going to be a part of my life again. I've been away for a whole year. I didn't have to deal with crap hanging on my doorknobs because that's something that he doesn't do, but that is just a bad habit of mine. So it's just little things like that, getting accustomed, to just having them around, just the way they do things and stuff like that. And it's completely normal to feel awkward. It's completely normal to feel shy. It's completely normal to just, be weird once you're getting your footing with your partner again. That's completely a normal feeling. So after you experience the awkwardness, and of course you're definitely happy to be with that person again, there's all of this built up of expectations since they've been gone. You have to keep them realistic, I would say. Everyone loves what we catch on video. We catch our partner, coming home, our children running into their arms, us running into their arms. It's such a sweet and it's such a beautiful moment, and it's romantic and it's amazing. But then real life settles in and you have to deal with those realistic expectations. Everything's not going to be super romantic. Everything is not going to be super perfect. You guys are not always going to be in sync. It's going to take some time to get to that, just to get back to that. So when I want to talk about managing realistic expectations, just depending on the type of deployment that it was and the things that you may or may not had to deal with when your partner was gone. Like for me, I have older children, so we have a routine, So it was so for me, it's easy for my spouse to come in and get in where he fits in because I run a very efficient, very, that's just my character, a very, strict home. So there is a lot of, order. But if you have like a newborn baby, if you're a brand new couple, things might not be as set in stone. There might not be a routine, and you need to have realistic expectations. So if you have a brand new baby, if you're expecting, these romantic dinners and all this time alone, you're not going to have that. Even with older children, we don't have a ton of time alone when he comes home, so you have to manage those expectations. One of our deployments that we had, I made a sign, and I had balloons, and I had a playlist. And you guys, I'm so extra, and my intentions were, to pull up to the company with, the music blaring and, with the balloons and the sign. And I got the address wrong, and I went to the wrong company. I went to the battalion instead of the company where they were being dropped off. So that did not happen, you guys, and I was so disappointed, and I felt so sad that, I mean, like, my husband didn't care, like, he wanted to go home, but I felt so sad because I just had this huge moment that the kids were gonna jump out the car with the balloons and the sign, and I was at the wrong address, so as I'm driving around Post, I'm like, okay, finally I found the right place, and I just felt so disappointed. It was a little bit lackluster. The kids did hang out the window with the sign, but it wasn't the big ta-da that I wanted, and I didn't get to catch it on camera the way that I wanted. And oh my gosh, you guys, my heart was in my butt all day. Like, I was so disappointed. And of course I was, like, just talking to my husband, like, oh, this is what I wanted for us, and blah blah blah. My husband's like, I want to play the food. I'm happy to be home. I want to see my kids. Like, I don't care about your playlist and all that stuff. And not in a way that he didn't appreciate my effort, just in a way of like, don't be sad. Like, we have all the important stuff, girl. Like, I appreciate the thought, but I want to go home. I want to eat. It's okay. So you have to manage your expectations. It's not going to be a scene out of Army Wives, the TV show, which, went off the air years ago, if you ever seen it. But it's not going to be like that all the time. You might get it and you might not, but you have to really, manage your expectations and understand that real life still has to go on and things are still going to happen in spite of the fact that he's home and how doggone excited you were about everything. So another thing about reintegration that we cannot forget, of course, is the children. So if you have very young children, I think the transition will probably be quite smooth. They'll just be excited to have, dad home, and their attention spans are this long. So it won't be a really a big thing as far as, him coming in and just fitting in to where, he gets in and you all's daily routine. Now, when you have older children, it might be different. It's going to take them a little while to get used to dad being home and things like that. For an example, in my family, I'm always the bad cop. I mean, maybe it doesn't come off on camera, but I am a very strict mama. I run a very efficient, a very tight home. And so my husband is always the fun guy, the good cop. So for my children, it's not a super hard transition when he comes home. It's actually, I'm happy for them, and they're super happy that they get a little bit of relief. They get a fun guy. They get someone, who gets it, someone who's cool, someone who's going to, allow a lot more leeway than I do. So for them, it's just, it's Christmas for them. They don't have to listen to this drill sergeant. But in other families, it might be different. It might be hard for the child to adjust to, maybe if your spouse is, more strict, or the disciplinarian, or, things like that. It might be a awkward time for them. Also with the children, they may cling to your partner more. The fact that they miss them, they may, cling to them more. And, some mothers feel some type of way about that. Me, I am happy I'm just like, go, there's your daddy. Get away. But it might bother some people that, you've had these children for so long, and then all of a sudden they could care less that you exist. Or it could be the other way around. You're expecting them to cling to your partner and, to want to, recuperate all that time that they missed, but they might, be stuck to you. And it, might be a really, hard situation for them to get accustomed to dad or your partner that has been gone. So with children, it's such a touch and go thing. Every child reacts differently to, stress in different situations and new things in their life. So with that, you have got to be extremely patient with your child. Let them process those feelings, and just for you to be there to guide them and to help them, not really try to direct what they should feel or what they need to feel. Another possible feeling of reintegration could be a lot of tension, due to the fact that, maybe your partner may not feel that this is being run efficiently, or this is being done efficiently, or maybe they're just accustomed to, doing things on their own a certain way. So once they, get back home, they're still in that alone mindset. So they're still doing things where they're, just centered on how they feel, or what they feel would be best. And so that's going to take some time, and you guys definitely have to talk those things out. Something as simple as like scheduling. Like your partner might feel like, hey, I feel like this would be a better time to eat dinner, or this would be a better time, for the kids to have a bedtime and things like that. And you're thinking, hey, it's been working this long, why do I need to change it? So you guys are going to have to talk a whole lot and be really patient with each other, be really considerate of each other, and not really try to go about changing or fixing anything, as soon as you are together. Just live in a certain space, see how things go, see how you all feel about it, and then just talk it over from there. But tension is completely normal. It's something that doesn't mean that there's a problem. It doesn't mean that you didn't miss each other. It doesn't mean that you don't appreciate the fact that you guys are together now. It's just having to get used to the fact that you all did things separately for so long, and now you have to learn once again how to do them together. So now we are toward the end of my video, and as I said at the beginning, I wanted to give you guys some, real life examples and things that my family has been through. So just in case this is something that you guys are going through, that you could take something from it. And just to give you a more personal side of me, I know I give tons of general information that what may be or could be, but just so you all can understand that like I'm human too. I don't always have it together, and that I definitely go through a lot of these, and I have gone through some of these. So in our most recent deployment that has just recently ended, I've been super selfish with my husband. Like, I want him all for me, and he has 3 kids, and we have pets, and he has to divide his time between all of us. So I have been like super clingy, and that's a part of it too. And then my husband's like, I am one person, girl, like your son wants to play video games all hours, your daughter wants me to take her out, and then our baby son, and it's a lot that he has to divide his time up with. So us just being booed up every night on the couch, and just having our coffee together and just lounging all day is not something that he can do, and it's not fair to the rest of the family. So I definitely have to be understanding that like I'm not the center of his universe. He has 3 other people, that he is the center of their universe as well. So just being fair and not being selfish with his time, that's a realistic expectation that you have to set for yourself. And also, when your spouse gets back from deployment, they're not always going to be afforded time of leave right away. So they still have to go to, work. They still have to, for the best way for me to explain it is in process. You guys know when you move to an Army base, you have to in process. So when the guys deploy and they come home, or your partner deploys and they come home, they have to in process, again. So that's going to take about a week, and it's a whole bunch of, turning in equipment, getting back into their unit, and, them getting in where they fit in. And just as a heads up, them being home, the unit does take them into consideration as far as personal life and leave. They probably won't get it right away, but when it comes to trainings and things like that, the training has to go on. The unit still has to function the way they would function, even though your spouse is back. So for my husband, even though he has not been back for a large amount of time, he is still about to leave again and go to the field. So training continues on even though they are home. Their, job continues even though they are home. And you just have to be patient with that. 9 times out of 10, your spouse will get leave when they come home from deployment, but it very well could not be right away. So you guys, I've been talking so much about, my personal experiences and how I feel and things that have gone on in my home as far as the reintegration process and things that I've experienced through these past couple of deployments. But I do want to give you my husband's opinion. Now, he's not one to show up on camera. He's a very reserved individual. So, of course, I always talk to him. I try to get his opinion and see how, he sees things, because I want to give, you all a well-rounded view. So some things that he has stated that were difficult for him as far as reintegration, first and foremost, is seeing that the kids have grown so much, and that there are milestones that he did not get to see and that he did not get to experience. For an example, when my husband left, about, a year ago, Manny, our youngest, Emmanuel, Manny was not in school, and his speech was, baby speech, banana please, and little things like that. So a whole year later, when my husband gets home, and Emmanuel is speaking in full sentences, he's learning to trace his name. He's just more articulate. His vocabulary has gotten so broad, and he said it was bittersweet. It's beautiful to see the growth and to see that he's advanced so much, but it was really difficult to resonate with the fact that he did not get to watch that process. He left and there was a baby. He came home and there was this big boy. So that was something that was very challenging for my husband to experience. As well as our teenager. Well, she's not an actual teen yet. She's right there on the cusp. She's a tweenager, I call her. But just seeing those, major milestones, how they change, how they respond to things, So you guys, we're at the end of my video, and if you made it all the way here, thank you so much for sticking with me. I really hope these tips that I gave you and these expectations and some of these experiences that I've had as far as the deployments that my family has gone through were really helpful to you. As I always say, if just a girlfriend chit chat is not enough, I will always have a link down below for military one source resources for you to look at, articles for you to see, and even numbers that you can call if you feel that you need more help than just this. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.